She said, "Oh, I'm sweating." And the back of her hair was wet. You know. Oh, my hair was wet. I'll pretend I'm talking to Carol so it's like I'm doing something. I'm just listening to the conversation. I don't hear it. Yeah, I want one. Oh, good. That's a good one, Jim. We have musician photography.
I told Tracy to behave.
No, I didn't see I'm serious. I was in sixth grade, I was teaching exercise. She said, "I know you're smiling, but she actually
Ladies,
no.
Mitch will probably be arriving any minute, and I just wanted to let you know what's going to happen when she first enters. I think it would be nice if we just stand up and clap for her. And Lori and Trish will be putting a corsage on her, and at that moment she'll know that this is for her. So, but if you will be watching for her, and then when she gets here, maybe we can all stand and clap. You can keep talking.
We had those.
You got this.
And her yes was here, and I started off the first part of the day back. She had no friends, so she was and then by the end, like, my brother's desk and friends, she was so like right beside me, and she knew it. She got so excited. I was sweet, I was like, yeah, I was. So
Get my kids a lot, so
This kid have any kids? You're not a Where's the boss? if you're a when you die, whatever it is, I call them mods. Yes. But you know, sweater house. Like I always say. Even if I didn't, I don't particularly care about that much, but I don't think that's all she's doing. She happy that she's happy. She's Well, they're pulling up with you. Yeah, right. How many 5-year-olds?
We just have to do that.
They build a house instead. Like, She's a cry. She's a saint, right? Yes. Now it's like these kids like this is too predestined. You could probably be no, I can tell that. I know. Yeah, she's letting us sit down. Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, just look around at the room and enjoy this.
It's not there.
There it's on you. Well, Mitch, we just wanted you to stand right here because we want to tell you that this is your life. Okay, Mitch, we have some very, very special people here today that are really anxious to see you. So, are you ready for this? She's still kind of in shock. I love it. Okay. Can we have our first guest tell us a little bit?
I was really ecstatic when Andrea asked me to be here today. Of course, I'm ecstatic to go any place where there's food, and there's a lot of food here. But Mitch, it's really neat to be able to have this opportunity to really be able to express my appreciation in this way for who you are and all that you do. I know that what motivates what you do too is love. I appreciate all the times that you invite me over to be a part of your family and your home for meals, and other times, and offering to bring others along with me. Your love for our body is just so evident in the way that you love our children and serve them, even babysitting for others. Often, I know that you just really do that out of a motivation of love. And also, as you minister music, it's so evident in the smile on your face that you're doing it with a motivation to serve our body and just really appreciate all that you've done for us, but most of all, appreciate who you are.
meet that guest?
Yeah.
Jen, come on out. Jen, we'll be serving the food in a few minutes, so you can sit down. Well, I'm not going to delay any more on our second guest. This is the person you know and love well. Let's hear from him.
My Midge, on December 16th, 1975, you, Marjorie Jean Robertson, then, and gave yourself to me as my wife. It was the first of a series of priceless gifts that you have given me and which have transformed my life. Among your other gifts would be our firstborn, Mandy Lorraine, with all her integrity and beauty. Our joy giver, Joni Lee, with all her laughter and grace. And our only son, Carl Brian Peterson II, who has completed our family in more ways than one. And then there is your gentleness and the constancy of your love, which has been a refuge for me. My life has been colored by the beauty of your character. My heart is with you as our dear friends celebrate the gift you are to all of us. I love you with all my heart.
We know he's such a sensitive man, but we know you made him to be the man that he is. So let's bring him out. Dale, come on out. Are you ready for the next lecture?
I made an effort to invite a lot of people.
We were embarrassed for you too. Well, Mitch, what day would be complete without your 5th grade music teacher, Bertha Bellbottom?
Hello, Marjorie. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I have often thought of you over the years. I will never ever forget you singing constantly in the classroom and your black ponytail bouncing up and down. It was obvious with those qualities that you were destined to be a pastor's wife. I'm so glad to share the stage with you today.
Bertha, come on out.
Salvation Army.
Every kid's got polyester.
It's you, Ed. It's you.
Well, Mitch, who could possibly fulfill this day any more than Bertha? Can you think of anybody?
Well, I can't. I don't even recall any music.
A moment like this, I know you're ready to shoot up. Well, we have 3 other guests that we're going to hear from now, so let's listen.
Marjorie Jean, I gave birth to you on October 9th, 1952, and I almost named you Stormy. I should have, because you got so mad, and when you were mad, you were smoking. Marjorie, there's someone else here who would like to talk to you. Hi, Mitchie, remember me? We used to sing along with Mitch Miller. married your brother, all he ever did was talk about his wonderful sister. And I can only hope that I can be half the woman you are someday.
Well, that's great. Who do you think those are, by the way? Who do you think those gifts are? Who are those gifts?
My mother. I can't guess who mine is.
Why don't you come on out?
Come on out.
For those of you who don't know, this is Joan, Page's mom. This is her sister Wendy. This is
Hi.
her sister-in-law Sharon.
You guys all look like me. I love it.
Guys, give us your count. Now you can sit down. Well, I've been so excited for this day waiting, and I could not keep a secret any longer. I was hoping, I was glad when this day finally got here. Anyways, I wanted to just share, first of all, a little poem Kathy Shanae handed me this morning, and which I just think was so appropriate because all your friends are here today to celebrate this day with you. We cannot tell the precise moment when friendship is formed, as in filling a vessel drop by drop, there is at last a drop which makes it run over. So in a series of kindness, there is at last one which makes the heart run over. And Midge, our friend, today, our hearts overflow with love for you. And I'm in the claim. Let's pray, and then we can continue on with other festivities. Our Father, we're so thankful for all that you've given us. And we're thankful that we can celebrate this day with Midge. And we ask that you would take this time to encourage her. And for all of us, that would be a time of fellowship with our sisters that would bind us together and cause us to care and serve one another in a deeper way. I thank you for all the hands of creativity that were helped in planning this day. And as we eat and fellowship and laugh and cry together, may we always glorify you. In your name we pray. Amen. Now, we're going to eat. And is there any special orders of the day? But just bring your plate. Bring your plate.
Yeah, we start getting it. Informal. You go table. I think we're gonna do this, yeah?
Ladies, I'm going to have Mitch's table go next. She is kind of guest. And because I'm sitting with us.
I saw you running there 2 minutes. Oh my God. No, I wait. You were just heading home. That's the thing. Yeah, right. That's pretty. Something's good. I noticed with the walks. It just sits on the edge of the road. I am. That's the way mine. I woke up this morning and going this way. Right. That makes you tired. Exactly. That's not supposed to be a good job. That's a prescription. Yeah, there's something that comes out. You know, it's hard to tell what exactly it is. There's so many things.
I should go. How did they do it?
I bought was a mattress for $5. I bought the twin bed and everything for $20. I almost got it. I thought I need that. I just want a mattress. I tried to find it. So I don't know if she was making it. I just want the mattress. I think she's probably both. She's still charging me. I think I got it. That's 3 pieces that what she included Just go through town, stay on because they don't at all. They should go like understood.
Yeah, I was
Yeah. did make a mistake. She did think about It seems that most times they want your attention as they really get Oh, yeah. How did you go? I think like it's the opposite. It's like a background. So she, my music. I know, I was saying, she's in heaven now. There's some fruit here. Yeah, you notice the fruit? This is not. Yeah, such work for me. Oh, I go there. Too much time there. Worse. I was like, oh, just forget
Can you have your attention for just a minute? The ladies that are involved in the other activities, you know who you are. Meet me in about 2 minutes in the secretary's workroom. Thank you.
You know who you are. Anybody want? I can't. Do you have someone?
So this will be like a multi-purpose fund.
She climbs a tree and scrapes for me. Her dress has got a tear.
She waltzes on the way to mass and whistles on the stairs.
And underneath her whiffle, she has curlers in her hair. I've even heard her singing in the abbey.
She's always late for chapel. But her penitence is real.
She's always late for everything except for everything.
I don't have to say it, but I very firmly feel
Marjorie's not an asset to the abbey.
I'd like to say a word in her behalf.
Marjorie makes me laugh.
How do you solve a problem like Marjorie? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Marjorie? A flippity gibbet, a will-o-wisp, a clown. Many a things you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say? How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Marjorie? How do you hold a moonbeam in your hand?
When I'm with the racquetball, it's out of focus and reduced, and I never know exactly where I am.
Unpredictable as weather. She's as flighty as a feather.
She's a darling. She's a ding-dong.
She's a lamb.
She'll outstir any pest, drive a hornet's from its nest.
She can throw a whirling dervish at a whirl.
she is gentle.
She is wild and a riddle. She's a child. She's a headache.
She's an angel.
She's a girl. How do you solve a problem like Marjorie? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Marjorie? A flippity gibbet, a will-o-wisp, a clown. Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say? How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Marjorie? How do you hold a moonbeam in your hand?
Lori, you're not going to ruin any more of my favorite songs. I knew it, Sally. How's my hair today? Well, if anybody wants to get tea or coffee now, would probably be a good time to do it, and then we're going to go on through some other things.
Ladies, can I have your attention for a minute, please? We are honoring Midge, but we'd also like to recognize Andrea Soley. Today's her birthday. So let's sing happy birthday
Mitch, you might want to turn around your chair and face this way. Are we having fun yet? I'm gonna get away for a second to all those girls. Yeah, your voice and before you can see. While we're waiting, Tricia and Lori did all the table decorations, and I think they deserve a round. And of course, the skit crew, they were fun too. And they're not done yet.
There's more.
Well, I wanted to take time today and share about Marjorie. But first I thought maybe her moms and her sisters could share some fun little stories with us. So they can come down and do that if they want.
Well, it's true, there are a lot of things to relate about Marjorie. I've been doing a lot of thinking in the last week or two since I knew this was going to happen, and it's surprising how much I forget. But there are some events that stand out in my mind, in her life. She was a very quiet child and didn't say a whole lot, but she talked a lot with her eyes, and probably still does. She was, her sister, her oldest sister, Rainey, wanted me to relate that she remembers her as being the one that always got hurt. And I don't think that was true, but she, sometimes her daydreaming, I think, probably got her into trouble. There was an incident in her teens, probably her late teens, where she was driving an automobile, and she always had a real appreciation for flowers. I remember she used to gather wildflowers and bring them home. She always loved flowers, and she was driving along the road, and she saw a flower garden that really impressed her, and apparently she turned to look at it and rear-ended it. Someone who was trying to turn left, and she ended up in a ditch. And another of her qualities that came out at that time was her honesty. I mean, if you want to know what Midge is thinking, all you really have to do is ask her. And she's very direct. And her father relates going to the insurance company, and the insurance man wanted to have her say that the man did not have his directionals on for his turn, and Midge would not say that, and he kept trying to get her to tell him that the man did not have the directionals on for the turn, and some of it was being a little naive, and the rest of it was just plain being honest. She had to come out with the truth on that. She wasn't always honest. Midge had a way about her, or maybe a direction in life, where she was always bringing and befriending people who were in trouble or who were going through difficulties and things. And there was a whole string of young men that she brought home with her. Interesting things. And she was very enamored with one of these young men, and he really was very personable, and in fact, I think we all loved him quite a bit. But she dated him for a while, and one night when I was cooking at camp, I got a telephone call from Midge, and she said that she was in Santa Rosa, and she wanted to go to a show with Fred. And they were in Santa Rosa, which was practically next door to where we were. And all of a sudden, the long distance operator broke in on her call, and she was really off the river. Another time with Fred, she was 7-Up and went home to give her some 7-Up and make her feel better. And as I drove in the driveway, just as I was turning into the driveway, Fred's car drove in the driveway before me. So I merely told her her guardian angel was watching over her, and that she really couldn't do those kinds of things. Talked to her both about that. And so she wasn't perfect by a long shot. But she's human. But there is a quality about Midge that I think I'm happy to say about all of our children, that we really were able to trust them and they really did honor their home, and we're very proud of her. She and her sisters did a lot of singing as children and a lot of dressing up and the normal things that the children do, but they had an ideal setting. They were in a canyon with a forest and meadows, and they went to a 2-room school, and they had a lot of advantages for growing up that a lot of our children don't have, and I'm grateful that they have that opportunity. I think what you've done here today for her is very special. Very needed. I think a pastor's wife, sometimes their family is expected to know what you're thinking, know how you're feeling, feel all your needs. I mean, I myself have had that feeling with the people who represented my faith in my life. And I think every once in a while, I think you're very perceptive to have done this work. And I appreciate it. That's what
I can't get sentimental because I will stand up here and cry the whole time and not be able to talk. So I'll attempt to share some things from my perspective. And listening to my mom talk and Hazel and Bob and Mom, Sharon and I were talking this morning about their sons, Dale and Carl. We got their perspective, and then Dale walked in and we asked him the same questions, and we got his perspective, and it was a little bit different. So when Mom says that Midge brought home interesting people, we classified them at the kids' realm as derelicts or marginally mentally ill. Very questionable types. But fortunately, she had a very giving mother and father. And Dad would go to the refrigerator, and all the milk was gone, and all the bread was, all his Wonder Bread was gone. He was forgiving, and Mitch did bring a lot of people around, and some of this stuff probably shouldn't be said in front of her daughters. This is certainly not a license for any type of behavior. Fred showed up that day because he was real concerned about Mitch being sick too, you all might imagine. Fred was one of my special, actually I liked Fred. But he was known in the area to have dabbled in drugs. And Midge has been a very spiritual person all her life. She's a person who knew probably from birth, or was given the gift from birth, about her direction and her spirituality. And she has had a heavy influence, I think, on a lot of, spiritually, on a lot of people in her life. And Fred was one of them. He drove a black GTO with a white interior, and this man was known to sell drugs. This was a wonderful person. I mean, I gotta tell you, a great sense of humor. He was cute, and he brought me bubble gum. But when he started dating Midge, he took a black Bible and set it in the back seat of his
white upholstered GTO and drove around with this black Bible sitting in the back of his GTO. And this was to please Midge. And I believe, I mean, that's probably, I believe his heart was in the right place, you know, I really do. She related to me. I'm about 3 years younger than Midge, even though I'm 3 years taller. Everybody thinks I'm older. And she relates to me, her relationship with her older sister a lot. We fought a lot in our family. And she can test the fact that Lorraine would come up behind her and when Midge would turn her back, or was it the other way around? Would give a good karate chop to Midge, right, from the center in the back. We had a wonderful childhood. I think the strongest thing for me with Midge is that she really had a sense of direction all her life, and used to drive me nuts. When I was in high school and she was just out, we used to sit on the front porch and have these horrendous arguments about the silliest things. But she was so directed in her faith and her life that it drove me nuts. You know, she didn't have any questions. It drove me nuts that she didn't have these questions. I mean, she has more questions now than she did then, I think. And how she ended up with Dale after the group that used to run through our house. It was a gift. It was a gift for all of us, and for him, too. She has a wonderful sense of humor, as you all probably know. And she just is. Hang in there. I'll get this out. She has given me a lot. Even more as an adult than as a child. I appreciate the love of your shoulder.
Well, Midge, my turn. And I'm gonna go, please. I'm gonna, I kind of put my thoughts on paper because I knew I'd get up here and blubber if I did this. Please forgive me for reading most of what I have to say today. It was Thomas Jefferson who said, when the heart is right, the feet are swift. And I've seen you just speak in swift action. Other ways to say the same thing is, a happy spirit takes the grind out of giving. A positive attitude makes the sacrifice a pleasure. When the morale is high, the motivation is strong. When there's joy down inside, no challenge seems too great. Have you ever noticed how contagious such a spirit becomes when you're surrounded by it? I have a friend who is contagious. You can't be near her without catching a vision, dreaming a dream, or planning. When I awake at 3 in the morning and ideas are full in my head and I can't sleep, I wonder if Midge is up eating a peanut butter sandwich. Full of ideas in her head too and can't sleep. Once we were listening to Clyde Walker sharing ideas, not small ideas, but big ideas about Sunday school and trains and tickets and conductors, and our eyes met and said, we could do that. I'd like to think that Midge and I think a lot alike. But more so, I probably should say, I'd like to think more like Midge. Thinking of others more. A cheerful heart. A piece of paper could not list all the ways she has given to us here today. She's always giving and always serving us, from loving our children to making cinnamon rolls and to cleaning our church toilets. Never, never have I heard her grumble or complain, even though we've probably given her many reasons to do so at times. I've never seen her face shaken. I know her desire to serve our church has never changed, and I know there's been hard times for her and Dale, meaning sometimes we can probably be an ungrateful church, like children whining about what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do have. I know what we do have. We have a friend who is a gift from God to us. She is generous with her time and talent, and she's unselfish. When someone has so impacted your life and been so contagious, I always want to give back. And sometimes in my frustration, I say, what can I possibly give to show my appreciation? What can I give to Midge? I want to give her the room to be human and to make mistakes. I want to give her my encouragement, my affirmation. Maybe we all could give her more notes of kindness, a visit, a call. But probably the most important gift I want to give her, and the most important gift you can give Midge, is the gift of yourself. Because what an impact we would be on our church, our families, our communities, and friends if we all gave ourselves a little more like Midge does for us. For she is truly contagious, a true role model. Midge, and for all the ways you've touched us and served us, we love you and thank you. And ask Teresa to come and share.
So happy. I was informed you were going to be honored today, Mitch. It's really been an exciting time just waiting for it to happen. And I was thinking back when I first met you, when I was coming to this church. So many questions, not about Jesus and not about Christianity, but about churches. And I asked you a lot of questions. And you were so open and upfront, and certainly gave me a lot of my answers. And in the years since I have met Midge, that openness and honesty has remained continuously. And I was thinking about in the years since then, she's blessed me a countless number of times. A lot of it personally, and a lot of it I'm on a one-to-one person in situations that I've been in where she has blessed me. Many more of the blessings have come when I see her giving her whole self 100%. To whatever situation she's in at the time, whether it's her music in Sunday mornings, she's singing with all of her heart to Jesus. And if she's in the role of the mother, I think we can see from the wonderful family she has, as that's 100%. She seems to have so many 100% sides of her. All of it, of giving and sharing of herself, that I'm not sure what her middle name is, but I often relate it to Ruth. I really believe that she's really a handmaiden of the Lord, just serving and giving to everyone in need. And this morning I was thinking about all the ways that she touches people, and she's blessed me more just by what she's doing in other people's lives. And it really touches my heart and makes me want to do more of the same, that God lays that on our hearts. But this morning as I was thinking, and I was thinking that she continually has the caring and compassion to whoever's in need at the time. She has so much concern for everyone who is hurting. And she certainly has the commitment, which is one of my weakest points. And it has just touched me so much and made me more conscious of these weaknesses in myself. And as I was thinking about that this morning, I thought she certainly is really what the goal of our church is, and she's been doing it all along. She certainly is Christ-centered. She certainly is concerned and compassionate and caring to every one of us. And I was thinking of a poem that I had read a long time ago, but this morning one line came back to me, and it was that you cannot take a rose all fragrant with dew and not have some of that fragrance remain with you. And I want to tell you, Miss, that you have had such an impact in my life, and that fragrance, if you're the rose, that fragrance, and wanting to be more like that myself. You've certainly been a role model for me. I'm really thankful that God has sent you to be in our midst here.
I don't know if you get to this or not, but Rose.
Oh, I'll help you out. Guys, I never cried like this till I had kids, I promise.
You know, I'm going to speak to you from the mother-in-law's point of view, and you know what honored people the mother-in-law's point of view. And as I sit here and I think of, and listen to all the wonderful things you've said about Midge, I think, can anybody be that good? And those were kind of the thoughts that I was putting together as I was thinking about Midge and her role that she plays in our family. As a mother, there's some of you here that have given your sons and daughters in marriage, and you always want the very, very best for them. You have this idea of the ideal mate. And you mothers that have little ones, I'm sure that you even think about that now. You want somebody that is just the very right person for them. If you've had come from a bad home, it even is more important to you to have your children married into a good mate. There were several things that I wanted for my children in a mate. And the first one was a person that was committed to the Lord. And the second would be committed to their mate. And the third would be what kind of a parent it would be to my grandchildren. And that's very important as grandparents, right, Joan? And Midge, you are a committed person, as Teresa has said. And one of the verses that I came across this week, as I was thinking about this, is from 1 Timothy 6 and 7. But godliness with contentment is great gain. When I think of Midge, I think of somebody that's content with what she has. She doesn't want to be something big and popular and a star in her own right, but she just wants to be committed to herself, and to the Lord, and to her family. And also, it says further on down in that section, but if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. And that's Midge. She's content with what God has given her. She doesn't want more than that. She's content with her role in the church. She's content with her family. She's content with the monies that have come in, and she's a wonderful manager. She's content. But she also has compassion. And Teresa and several others have brought that out. And this is, to me, what exemplifies Midge from Matthew 25, 34 through 36. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, for when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. And I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Does that not exemplify Midge? She gives of herself. If she has 2 coats, she'll give you one. If she has just one, she'll give you that. If she's got food in the house, she'll share it with you. If she sees a need, she doesn't stop to think, what shall I do? She does it. She's compassionate. She visits. She's just Midge. There's no other way to say it. She's just Midge. And then there's humility in Midge's life. I think that probably that she's enjoying this immensely, but I don't think she likes all the attention drawn to Midge. She wants it drawn to the Lord. That's Midge. Philippians 2:3 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves." That's Midge. She's always last. Her family, her husband, her church is always first. And then as a wife, she's the top of the line when she's a wife. Ephesians, Paul writes about the wife being submissive to her husband, to respect her husband, to love her husband. I see that in Midge. She does all those things out of a deep, deep love for her husband, for my son, which makes it even better. She's a wonderful wife. Proverbs says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good." And I am so grateful to the Lord for Midge to be the wife of my son and the mother of my grandchildren. She is a true joy. And then as a role of a mother, there's none other like Midge. I have never heard her say when her children come to her, "I'm too busy." I'll do it later. She's always available to her children. I know I'm not there all the time, but I've seen her tied up in strings with Carl wanting to play with her. Now, what mother would let her son tie her up as a prisoner? And she loves every minute of it. I see her building a tent for Carl when he wants her to. And I know she's got things to do, but her family comes first. I've seen her working with Mandy with her quiz verses. I've seen her in the kitchen with Joni cooking. Joni loves to cook. She's a friend. She laughs with them. She cries with them. She shares with them. She's a mother. And I feel like she enjoys the role of a mother. She's an encourager. And I appreciate that in Midge. It's wonderful. And this proverb I think, is something that we've heard at Mother's Day quoted over and over again, but I think it fits Midge so much today. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. And Midge, you are everything that I could ever ask for in a daughter. I truly love you.
Giving the allocators here. Midge was someone that I could never get her to do the dishes. She cleaned my house. You know, I'd say, "I want these dishes done when I get home," because I want these dishes done when I get home. And I come home and the house would be spotless in the kitchen, mess. And when Dale came into our lives, almost the first thing that he did was he walked over to my stove and he cleaned it. I knew he had a match.
I can't be as deep as everyone else has been. But Midge, I did want you to know I found your life verse for you. I was looking in Proverbs 31 under the qualities of a good wife. And this one, verse 17 in this version stood out to me. It says, "She is energetic, a hard worker, and watches for bargains." I can't believe no one has mentioned your shopping. time to her. She does a good job. Gosh, I didn't, like everyone that was asked to share, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I could say, and it's kind of hard, because when I think of our church, I really do think of Midge and Dale. They really are a team, and I think that is unusual. I don't know if you've been in many other churches, but I think Midge is much more of a important part of our church than a lot of pastors' wives are. I've always appreciated the music, of course. Just every Sunday I listen. I think we get used to that and don't appreciate that. The worship, Midge is now our worship director. I don't know if you know that, but she does all the planning of the worship service. And, one of the things I've noticed in recent months is I think people feel very free in our church to worship in their own manner. And I think that is because of Midge's example. I think people just feel freedom, and I appreciate that. One thing that came to my mind was a special service she put together a couple of years ago for a Mother's Day. It was a children's service. I don't know if you remember that, but we had a lot of slides and music. Midge has done that more than once, those special services, and I really appreciate that. And of course, the children's ministry, just in many, many ways, but most recently teaching Sunday school, and she taught one little boys class. It's wonderful for him to see the pastor's wife in such a personal way. And I appreciate Midge's willingness to do that. And then, I kind of went through this whole list of things that Midge has done, and I think you could spend hours doing that, but there's a danger in that, because, our worth is not in what we do. It's not the list of things that we are accumulating, but I really believe that our worth is who we are. And I do see Midge as someone who has found God's purpose in her life. I thought that was interesting that was mentioned already, because that, I think, is what stands out to me, is that Midge really has found her place, and she's contented. The one other thing, I guess I should have mentioned a little earlier, that Midge has been an example to me, is the way that she welcomed her visitors. And I think all of us could be a little more tuned to that, but she makes a special effort to make everyone feel welcome, and to find out who they are, and to be hospitable, like Dale talked about last week. But I just appreciate it.
Time where anybody can stand up where they're at and just share if they have something to share.
When Andrea called and asked me to share, I thought, what could I say that hasn't already been said? And today, as I sit here, a lot of you have already gone down my little checklist here. Yep, they covered that. But I've known Midge for about 11 years now, and the very first thing I remember about Midge is that when we first came to the church, she invited me that very week to WMPF, not on the phone. She wrote me a personal note and asked me to come. And of all the years that I've been in church, I had never been personally invited to anything in my life except to come babysit or teach, where I would be serving someone else. And I was so blessed by that. I came to that meeting, and I still remember it. It was 11 years ago, and it's so vivid. It's like it happened this last week. That was a real personal thing that she had done in my life, and I'm sure she's done it to many of you. Midge, I know that many of us put you on a pedestal, and we're not trying to do that today. We're just showing you how much we appreciate you, and it's long overdue. I agree with what you want to say. Living in a fishbowl probably hasn't been very easy. But every time I've ever been to Midge's house, except when after they had Carl, it's always clean. I've never seen her house messy, and any of her dishes are done. But Carl has this thing with string. Midge allows him to he makes these wonderful creations with string, and that's really neat. I think that is a true mother's heart to let a child, take over and tie her up with string. That's incredible. Some of the things I've observed in Midge, and they've already been shared, but I'd like to just reiterate them a little bit. Her music ministry is such a blessing. I'll be driving down the street and have KBBO on, and they'll play Midge's one of the songs that she has taped. And I can hardly drive. I'm just so blessed by it. And I had this inspiration just this morning that I should have had it playing, but we wouldn't be able to get through this without everybody crying buckets by that time. Midge, I appreciate the willingness to share when I've been taking over doing Sunday school, and you've been in there. Oh, I'll teach those 5-year-olds. I'll just do those kids. And she did those 21 first graders for a long time. She had them for 2 years, and that's how many kids she was dealing with all the time. She was our children's program coordinator for several years, and she worked on CE committee in many capacities. She's been a janitor for a long time, and she's been a pastor's wife. She's been a friend to us all, and I just wrote down some thoughts that exemplify Midge in my life. A cheerful smile, a helping hand, a listening ear, a pair of busy feet, a servant's heart, a willing teacher, a loving mother, a gentle and humble spirit, a voice that praises God and blesses others, an encourager extraordinaire, and a friend to all. We love you, Midge.
Anybody have anything else to share with Midge today? Nancy, nice to meet you. Sure.
We all practice. I think there was already a lot shared, but I'd like to share about my mom's patience because I'm going to be heading into Montana for a quiz championship this weekend, and I've been studying a lot, and my mom's very busy, and that's been mentioned a lot. She's always doing something, but she's taken an hour or hour and a half to help me with my quizzing, and I'm sitting there coding these chapters over and over. I'm sure it's extremely boring because it's just the same thing again and again, and she sits there and she doesn't fall asleep, and she's watching every word because I'm trying to say I'm perfect, and that patience is really overwhelming and encouraging, and I see it with my little brother, with whom I don't have a lot of patience. And my mom's a real example to me in encouragement. She likes the same music I do. I don't know, that's something that it's just neat to be able to share things like that. And she went to the Petra concert with our youth group, and my dad did, and it was fun to see them worshiping the Lord there and saying that they weren't usual or they weren't familiar with. And I appreciate my mom a lot, and I love her.
Well, I want to share something that's really special to me, and I'm sure that you guys all have those little things that Midge has done for you, but this is something that I think about every Sunday morning when I look at her. When Trevor was in the hospital, when he was only 5 days old, it happened in the middle of the night, and my husband brought me off at the hospital with Trevor, and he had to take Angie out to Christine Weiss's house. And the minute he got there, Christine called Bill and Midge to put it on the prayer chain. And before my husband got back to the hospital, Midge was at the hospital with me. This was like at 5 o'clock in the morning. And they were giving Trevor some
some spinal taps because they figured he had spinal meningitis, and that was so hard for me. And when I saw Midge walk in those doors at 5 o'clock in the morning, we'd only been going to church about a year, and I was so surprised, and it was one of the hardest times in my life to have him, poking these needles in my little baby's back, and she was there for me, and every Sunday I almost think about that, what a blessing she is, and how many people would get up at 4:30 in the morning and come down to the hospital for someone like that, and it really blessed my husband too. He walked in and he was just so blessed, and I just love him too.
Yeah, but she used to steal my clothes when I was in school.
I have to say I appreciate Meg because her door is always open, and a lot of people would see me and say, "Shut the door," and yeah, and I've always said that the same, but she's always doing dishes. And I don't know. I don't think about those things since I don't get a plate. She's been an encourager to me and a friend, and I really, really appreciate it.
Well, I wanted to take a few minutes and maybe we could all pray together for Midge. And if you feel like you could do that, then pray. And Teresa's going to close for us. But probably you can spend some time praying for Midge. And then after that, we have one more thing we want to share with you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, we'll let you talk. Yeah.
Got this speech.
They do at the Academy Awards, like, they don't know they're really getting this award, they have this big speech. The kind of things are always hard. I think it'd be good if they could happen to everybody once in their life. The thing that's awkward about this kind of thing today is, in anything anybody has shared, there is a degree of failure, and I think we'd all find that true in our own lives. When people talk about you, whether it's your patients, your kids are talking about you being patient, and you can remember every time you have been meeting people's needs. There are some people that I have met, and there are others I haven't. And there is, like I said, there is a feeling and a degree of failure in every area of my life. And I appreciate this today. It's really very humbling. I don't know if I'll leave here elated. I would hope, I guess, maybe for us that today would even be a statement to all of us of what friendship is and what it can be. And we don't impact everybody's life, but hopefully as a church, as God works in us, we would cover all the bases between all of us. And I thank God for you today, for who you are, and for the gifts that you have, for the people you are in the church. Dale and I go to Pastors Conference every January. We come home, there's not a person of the church is represented here that we trade places with. We have a good family, and I want to thank you for that. Thank you for all this, and I want to thank Gloria, Patricia, Andy. For those of you who maybe I have never ministered to in the past, I hope I'd have opportunity in the future, and maybe God will help. I encourage all of us to do little things for each other. And I thank you for this big thing for me today. I do, thanks.
You should apologize.
what I think of as important learning. So it's okay to fail.
I've done it enough. I know.
So we pray.
Dear Lord, we do thank you for marriage and the ministry she's had to our lives. Father, I pray especially today that during this coming year that you will draw her closer and closer to yourself. That you will renew her spiritually, that you will give her a desire for the Holy Spirit to know your word and know your people and know yourself. Lord, I just thank you for the ministry she's had to me personally and to my children, and how significant that is.
Lord, I just want to thank you for this day, and I just want to pray that you'll use this in all of our lives to just be encouragement to us, to be more like you, and the blessing that we can be to each other. And Lord, just encourage each one of us to do that.